What's up, boys? Week 10 recap. Joe, how's your mental state? How's your heart, dude? Because your games always go down to the fucking wire, dude. Like I know the last 2 weeks it's gone down to Monday night. This one, like I was having a heart attack watching the Chicago Bears. Like what did he have? Null and Allen Robinson. You were
Yeah,
just
he had Noel and
praying.
Allen Robinson. And you know what? What really gave me a heart attack was the fact that he had Noel, and then I was like watching the game, and Noel was not involved at all. Like
No,
just
no. I
Noel
knew
and
he
Boyd.
wouldn't be.
Noel and Boyd. He just was not involved. But the biggest thing, so I had written him off. I was just worried about Robinson, who they were just targeting. And then all
Yeah, they were. They
they
were.
were
He had a bunch
targeting
of
him. Like
targets.
Foles, I mean, Foles knows his playmakers. He knows who to get the ball to. So I just was like, man, just contain, just contain. Can the Chicago offense suck like it's been sucking all year? That's all it's got to do
Dude,
for me.
that's the most one-sided team I've ever seen in my life. Like their
No, it's
defense
ridiculous.
is nasty,
And
but
I didn't realize this, but Nagy's actually an offensive coordinator. He's an offensive minded guy. They
not
literally
anymore.
might have the same situation as the Atlanta Falcons, where Dan Quinn is a defensive minded guy, but his defenses sucked and their offenses were insane at Atlanta.
Yeah,
Always insane.
I it's just really really bad in Chicago right now. Their offense and Nick Foles is hurt now, so who knows when he's gonna get back. Just don't start anyone from Chicago's offense, but always start Chicago's defense. That's the way Chicago's years. It was the most boring Monday night game of all time, but
That was
still.
ridiculous.
Now
But
going from the most boring game to probably the most entertaining game. Holy DeAndre Hopkins.
wow.
Jesus Christ. How okay, if there was a way for the Houston Texans to take a loss without even being in the game, that was it. Like
they're
he's
the
the best
real
receiver in the game and you
they're
gave
the
him
real
away.
losers of
You
this.
yeah, you gave him away for a washed up running back. Like what? Yeah, it's like Bill O'Brien wanted to. Bill O'Brien's main goal was literally to trash the Houston Texans. Which, congratulations, Bill.
He did it. Yeah, no, he accomplished it. Like if somebody actually wanted to get fired, that was the blueprint. Moving forward, that's the blueprint
Yes.
of how you get fired. If you're just like, yeah, I'm done with this job. I'm going to try to get fired. It's like, you know what? Hey, find your DeAndre Hopkins, trade him now for a
That's the chair.
mediocre, injured, often running back.
Yeah, that's the cherry on top is just trade away your best player for nobody.
Yeah,
Um, did you watch that game by the way?
I
Um,
didn't. I didn't
the
get the
Cardinals,
chance.
dude.
No.
I saw the highlights. Dude, that was a game of long field goals. There was like 10, 50 plus yard field goals in that game.
Yeah, no, it
It
was,
was wild.
and actually, it was funny. The best meme that went around this weekend had to be the one where it showed the caption of the commentators, and they were, I guess it was them raving. They were raving about Stephon Diggs whenever he scored that touchdown to go up, and it's like commentators, Diggs is the best wide receiver in the league. Hopkins, nah,
Nah. Hold my beer.
hold my beer.
Hold my beer. That's funny. Yeah, 'cause he just went up and big boy 3 different Buffalo Bills cornerbacks.
Just mossed him. That was the
Just
ultimate
the
moss.
ultimate moss. Yeah, that's the moss of mosses. Like I don't. Anyways, Cardinals are must watch TV every single week. The Cardinals they're just fun. They're a
They
fun
got that
team.
little, they got that little high school quarterback that just runs around the field like 5 different times. He's literally like the Johnny Manziel of like the NFL right now.
Dude, he's shorter than Johnny
Runs all over
Manziel.
the place.
He
You
play he even looks shorter on the field. Like I know he's a short person in real life, but he just looks shorter on the field. I don't know what it is. Like cuz I've seen Drew Brees is short, Russell Wilson isn't the tallest.
know, she's
He just looks like a little kid
oh
just
yeah,
running around.
yeah. It's like who let their kid on the field? Oh shoot, actually that's a football player.
That's a football player.
He's
Yeah.
about 8
And
rocketed the ball down the field.
And dude, the way he spins out of the pocket, it was like you remember when we used to play like Madden '08, and you'd have Reggie Bush and you'd press what was it, the B button, the spin around.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's
no,
Kyler Murray in the
is it?
background, in the
But
backfield.
yeah, no, that's exactly how it is. And you used to play, yeah, I still play that actually.
Yeah.
Still play
Well,
on GameCube. Like actually, I've got my guy that I drafted. He's a 6'5" quarterback, got about 90 speed. I actually drafted him. I didn't create him. I
you got
drafted.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, and actually, no, he's actually his name is called Spencer Jones.
Oh, that's funny. That was
Yeah,
close. You should change it.
I should actually, but
Um,
I really would. I really don't want him tripping on air, so like that wouldn't be ideal. Although he has the worst slides anyway, so it actually is fitting.
it's pure entertainment. That's all it is.
Of course.
Let's get to a couple things. There was a couple of name changes. Hell and High Waller, that was pretty good. His little his picture edit. I love John Gruden's hairline. I think that's what I imagine John Gruden's hairline being if he didn't have a lot of money. If he wasn't rich, that's what his hairline would be. He would look, yeah, he would look like an old bum that probably goes to the bowling alley twice a week and gets drunk off of 2 blue moons. That's John Gruden if he didn't
That's
have
pretty
money.
fitting right there. That's pretty fitting. I won't be able to top that off. But no, the imagery, Jay Luke, bro, that was astounding, awesome.
That was well done.
I think that was the win of the season for the picture.
Yes, I do think Derek Carr looks more like a military guy than most military guys. Like he looks like he belongs in the military, not the starting quarterback for a NFL football team.
Well, yeah. Now I can't unsee that. I mean, now he's just going to be a military guy. Like, and it's
Yeah.
like one of those things you never saw, but it's like there's a light bulb shattering in your head.
Yeah, the glass shattering.
Okay, yeah, like this guy should be in the military. Why is he in the NFL?
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't make any sense. There's only 4 teams over the 500 mark. So everyone else is at 500 or below, which means in those 4 teams that are over are not over by very much. Dude, it's still like Luke's got the worst record, 3-7. If he wins out, which is totally possible, we'll get to that in his matchup, which is totally possible. He'll be 7-7. There's going to be about 2 500 teams that are getting into the playoffs. It's all about which ones now. So coming down the stretch, these last 4 weeks are huge. They are crucial. Some people have they have tougher weeks than others, but it is very possible for everyone. So if Luke can do it, anyone can do it. Speaking of Luke, this is a good segue. He was also the one who changed his name.
Yeah. What to start with?
Like we said last week, he can only do his brain capacity only allows for a couple of letters at a time.
Yeah.
And I think Bobby fucked him so hard in his matchup this week that he is now a butt sex guy.
That's definitely a great assertion right there.
And it's manifesting through his team name.
Yeah, and we had this question last week. We really diagnosed this and really was brought up the question that everybody was wondering, like, is Luke gay? And I think this solidifies it right here. This was the game-changing factor.
His girlfriend's a cover. I got it.
He's got a girlfriend?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a cover. That's definitely a cover.
Congrats on the sex, Luke. Good for you. Overall, this was kind of a low-scoring week, but it was still fun. We're going to start talking the playoff picture. So I want to go over during each matchup. I want to go at the end before Vice go over the rest of the schedule for each team, because we have some guys that have a cakewalk and some guys who have literally a gauntlet. So I want to bring that up to everybody. High point winner was Swamp Jim. He's back at it. Swamp Jim is all the way back. I don't want to admit it, but his team is looking good. He went through a little bit of a slump, but now he is all the way back.
Yeah, I thought that luck was going to run out, but It's back again. He's still got the begin. I mean, it's a whole season. It's a beginner season for him. So
Yeah, his
that's for
beginner's
the rest
luck
of us.
just took a nap. Now it's back on the treadmill. Um, the bench warmer award goes to Huff. He had 72.94 points on the bench, and he scored 120 plus in his matchup.
Talk about a hot team right now. That's a
Like,
hot team.
yeah, like Bobby's team cooled down a little bit, and Huff's team just
I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say Bobby's team's cooled down by any
okay.
means, but
For Bobby's standards, it cooled down a little bit.
yeah, he just had something a little bit quicker than or closer than what he typically has. But
It
honestly,
wasn't not even closer. He just didn't score very many.
but I mean, but he's still on a 4-game winning streak right now, which in my book that deserves a ball back. Ball's back, so give this man his balls back right now.
All right. Next up, I want to go over the Sarah Morrow Player Tease of the Week.
This is a new award, isn't it?
Yeah, Sarah Morrow Tease of the Week. So, explanation. Um, the reason why we made this is because you have those guys. So, like Sarah Morrow, she's flirting with you at night. It's looking good. Everything's panning out to have a great little one night stand. You get back and basically you just start dry humping all night in your jeans. You get a ripped up dick. So that's the biggest tease of all time. She's the biggest tease of all time, and she did it
Biggest
multiple
tease of
times.
all time.
So what we do is
we all fell for it.
Yeah. Well, I did, but anyways, what we're going to do is relate that to a player. So someone who had like big upside, big potential, had a great matchup, had just phenomenal potential to do well, and shit the bed. That's the matchup, the Sarah Morrow Player Tease of the Week. You want to start?
No, actually, I thought that was just a one person doing it award.
Okay.
We didn't clarify that one.
All right. Well, hey, actually, that's fine because I have.
I'm just bouncing. I'm bouncing off of you.
I then you do a great job of it, but I actually have 3 nominees, so you can decide which one you think. That'll work.
That works.
First nominee is the Baltimore defense.
Baltimore defense.
The second
1 point.
Yeah, and wait, who were they playing again? They were playing somebody.
New England, huh?
Yeah, they were supposed to roll New England. New England was going downhill, and they needed a win, needed this big time, and and then
the big thing with that is that both Baltimore and New England are both run-heavy teams. So not only is it supposed to be a low-scoring game, it's supposed to be a quick game. There's not going to be much. People they're going to be running down the clock most of the time, or supposed to be running down the clock most of the time. Yet you only manage to get like 1 point, and you're playing a guy Cam Newton who just doesn't fit. It doesn't seem like it fits in the Patriots system. I think they want to do something else than what they have to do with Cam Newton, and you still only managed 1 point. And then, funny enough, it's Swamp Jim who owns them and was the only player that did that. And then he had on the bench the New Orleans Saints, who just totally killed it.
I know. I told him to start him last week. I don't know. He just doesn't listen to me or whatever. But anyways, huh?
He listens to me.
Okay.
I'll explain that later.
Yeah. So my second one was DK Metcalf. He had a tremendous upside, but got completely shut down by what's his face? Who's the Josh Norman?
No, that's Buffalo Bills.
Oh, who shut him down? Was it Ramsey? I don't remember. But anyway.
Oh yeah, Jalen
Ramsey. That's it.
Jalen Ramsey for the
Rams.
I was trying to figure out who they played. Yeah, so Yeah, no, I mean DK Metcalf. If he's going to prove that he's in the conversation with Hopkins and Julio Jones, I mean this is the matchup he's got to win. I mean
Yeah,
it's
he's
plain
got
and
to.
simple. But I think there's a little bit more to that, and that's kind of going to go into my matchup a little bit when I diagnose a little bit of the passing game at
Okay.
Seattle. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's
Seattle. Seattle. I don't know what to say about Seattle. They're like maybe Russ cooked a little too much and he burnt everything.
you peaked too early.
Yeah, he
Too
peaked. He
early.
peaked way too
Way too
early.
early. I know how that life is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, he
Um,
peaked too early.
and then my third one is Michael Thomas. I
Ooh, that's a good
thought
one.
he was just going to because like he did well against Tampa. It was good. Breeze was getting them the ball. Um, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, but that's also you are comparing last year's number with this year.
No, but I mean it was against the Panthers, so I figured he'd do a little better than whatever he had. It was
It wasn't against the Panthers.
Didn't we just play the Panthers? Oh no, I mean the 49ers. The
49ers.
depleted 49ers, that's what it is. The Bucks played the Panthers. But yeah, the injury riddled 49ers, I figured that would be that he would definitely play better than that. So
Yeah,
yeah, those are my teases. I think it's Baltimore defense, but I think all three of them were pretty good.
I think the Baltimore defense. I would have to agree with you. They definitely were the ones that just definitely shouldn't have shit the bed like that. You can. I mean, you can't. Come on. It's a mostly running game. So there's you can prepare for that.
Right.
I mean, that's what I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
He
It's supposed
yeah,
to be a quick
Baltimore
game.
Baltimore defense dry humped the shit out of James.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it didn't really make a difference for him. Everybody
No,
else
it
went
did.
off.
I know. I know. We'll get to that. All right. Last thing before we get to the matchups, you want to do a trade analysis? I think we have a big boy trade.
Yeah, only one, but it's a big blockbuster,
Love it.
and it actually involves me. I'm actually trying to make a little push for the playoffs, and I might even have to do another big blockbuster trade. Actually, no. I was going to have to do another big blockbuster trade, and this is an interesting fact because I knew if I would have lost to Matt Wilson, I would have had to trade Christian McCaffrey because
Ugh.
Christian McCaffrey was going to be out this next week. He was already looking bad, and I was going to have to make a playoff push. And I didn't see that happening if I'd lost this week. So I would have to win 3 straight games. So I would have actually had to McCaffrey, as much as I didn't want to have him on the trade block and and he was an untouchable player for me. I would have had to put him on the trade block. But luckily enough, I was able to pull it off. And so now I was just only had to trade Michael Thomas, which I think a lot of people saw this trade because it was a big trade. So I acquired Michael Thomas, Dax Ankle acquired Will Fuller the fifth. So let me explain this one, and this is my thought process on this. I'm still looking for a playoff push. I mean, I'm still kind of more towards the bottom of the league. I think what place am I in right now? Of course, I didn't do my homework and didn't put my place down. Anyways,
You're 4-6.
I know I'm 4-6. I just was trying to figure out what place in the league I am.
Oh.
But here it is. I got to pull it up on my phone.
You're fourth and you're number 8, but fourth in our or fifth in our division.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not going to matter. I'm probably not going to win division. So I'm just trying to get top 6 at this point.
Right.
But all right, I digress. Anyways, so I'm 8th right now. I'm in that outside bubble, trying to make a push. So I need somebody that might have some good upside. And my thought process with Michael Thomas is that they're going to follow a similar formula that they did when Teddy Bridgewater was in last year.
Mm-hmm.
In Teddy Bridgewater, they kind of favored Michael Thomas a lot. If you noticed, remember,
Yep.
Teddy Bridgewater, there was not many Saints players that really, benefited from Teddy Bridgewater being in, except for Michael Thomas. They still just threw him the ball. It was because it was safe, easy stuff. Like Michael Thomas is an excellent route runner. He's always open. He's kind of always open. If he's not open, you just throw it up to him anyways. And they kind of taught Teddy Bridgewater that, Michael Thomas garners a lot of respect from other QBs other than Drew Brees. Not saying that he doesn't respect Michael Thomas. He plays the whole he knows the whole offensive system. He can spread the ball out. That's kind of his game.
Well, he was the league leader in receptions. I'm pretty sure he set the record.
Oh yeah, no, not saying he doesn't. Like I said, not saying he doesn't.
And that was
just saying,
no. I'm just adding on to your point because he did that with a backup quarterback for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. So that's my thought process is what they're going to go in that direction again. Also, famous Jameis likes to favor wide receivers. He had Chris Godwin. He had Mike Evans. So, it's there. But at the same time.
That man threw 5,000 yards last year. I'm just putting that out there.
5,000 yards last year? Yeah. No, he definitely can sling the ball. Now that he's going to have an offensive week where he's actually in the starting QB position, it's one of those things. Now, all right, I gave myself a B- on this one, and that's only because this season it's a big risk. It's a big risk. There's a lot of upside to it, which is why it brings it up to a B. But there's a lot of risk to it, and that it could fail because just the way the season's played out already. He's already been hurt quite a few times. Usually when somebody has a lingering injury like that, it lingers the whole entire season. Another thing is he's had disciplinary problems. He's in Sean Payton's doghouse.
That shit was so weird.
Yeah. But, I mean, he did it with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and that kind of makes sense because he's a little shit. That's kind of it. But that's his game. He's a defensive back. I mean, you gotta shit talk with wide receivers and get in their head. But and he's not afraid to talk to anybody, even Michael Thomas. But so B-, I think that's a fair grade. Because like I said, it's just high risk, high reward type of situation, and when you're making a playoff push, sometimes you got to do those risks.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the trade. Like I said, I've loved Will Fuller since the beginning of the season. So yeah, I love the trade. I think it's a good one. I love seeing these blockbuster trades.
Oh yeah.
I pushed the trade deadline back to the 28th, so we have plenty more time.
Yeah, Dax Ankle, I gave an A. I mean, for him in his position, I think that was a fantastic trade on his end. He gets rid of a player that's been too up and down for him, and so there's a little bit of ease of mind.
Yep.
With him now, with somebody who's a consistent contributor. I almost kind of what I originally did was I actually traded it and sent it through, and then I took it back because I was actually going to try to throw in some more players into it. But then Matt actually sent me the trade again, the exact same trade. Like he saw it, saw it was gone, and then was like, no, I want this. So I was like, you know what, this actually does work. And then I was having some confusion on who else I really wanted to trade.
Yeah.
But so ultimately, it's a big blockbuster trade. I like it. So.
Cool. I love it too. We got one more thing I wanted to talk about before we get to the matchups. So the Kickers tore it up again. Can you guess how many?
Again.
Can you guess how many points they averaged?
Well, I mean, from what I was looking at in all the matchups, I know it's got to be over 10.
10.6.
10.6. Wow.
10.6, dude. These guys are on the same level as the running back twos.
Well, and that kind of makes sense too, because if you notice this week, there wasn't a lot of high fantasy producers. So in that case, a lot of times if there's the less touchdowns, offense is still driving the ball. So they're getting down there. So that benefits the kicking game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There was actually kind of a low scoring week this week.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is all I have. Let's move on. We're going to kind of go through the matchups fairly quickly so we're not taking up an hour and a half again. So the first one, Video Morgenstein versus Falcons Tank 21. I what's up with
Surprised
the
Josh
Baltimore?
is first again.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just the way the computer has it on my
I'm kidding with you.
whatever,
I'm kidding
dude.
with you. You already explained it.
What's up with the Baltimore run game? I have both of them. I have Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins, and then Gus Edwards, and then Biggs has Gus Edwards, and none of them did anything.
They are they're playing the running back by committee, and it's a committee that is based off of Lamar Jackson's running game.
That's a good point.
He opens it up.
That's a great point. If Lamar Jackson's not able to open it up, then oh man,
it's not as producing as well. They're not worried about Lamar Jackson running as much as they were, and then which sheds focus on to.
Dude, I got so excited about having both Ingram and fucking J.K. Dobbins.
I know, right? Especially with the run-heavy offense that Baltimore was last year, because you always want to check those numbers. Is not just how much they're producing, but the attempts that they're doing for
exactly.
passing or running, because that just opens opportunity. And the Baltimore looks good, but just not this year.
Yeah, and for Biggs, it was just unfortunate. He just had a slow week. When your kicker's your high point winner on your team, and I'm talking bench and everything.
It's not a good week.
No, and I mean Matt Prater put up 16, so it wasn't terrible, but at the same time, that's just not. You can't.
You still have to have somebody that's producing a little bit more than your kicker. The kicker's
Right.
like your indicator. You want them to produce a little bit. You want them to produce like 10 points for you, and then, but you want somebody else to produce more than your kicker.
Yeah, like your quarterback should definitely be one who does that.
Yeah.
Now, granted, so
yeah, you're good. No, I was just going to mention that we warned Biggs about this week. We told him about it last week. We're like, look, you're just going to have to eat this one. There's nothing you can do about it. You've got your players on bye. You had Patrick Mahomes. You had Hayden Hurst. You had Todd Gurley. You're just going to have to eat this one. It just sucks. It's just the way it goes, though, with the buys. And you try to draft, based off of buys so you're not in this predicament. But, when you're trying to draft the best players, sometimes you can't focus on that stuff.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, if you draft like that with the focus on the buys, then you're not going to have more times than not, it's probably not going to be a good draft.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to draft, like, 4 or 5 players from the same team like I usually do with New Orleans or – but you can't worry about the buys. But yeah, like you said, that happens. He was gonna have to write this one off. Biggs's next 4 games are pretty favorable to him. He's got Dax Ankle, Meat Jerkin Beef Boys, Legion of Buttsex, and I'm Ron Dynasty's team. He can easily win 3 of those 4. And
for sure.
And be 7-7. He can go 3-1 the next 4 games and be 7-7. Which, like I said, as of now, we're probably gonna have 2 500 teams in the playoffs. So
yeah,
which one's it gonna be?
Especially with Mahomes coming back. He'll average him a good 40 points a week. That'll be a good third of his points. And just ridiculous numbers that Mahomes puts up. But yeah, no, I can definitely see this team definitely winning 3 out of the next 4 and putting themselves in the playoff push. So yeah. I don't know why he as a Falcons fan had to bring Drew Brees bad luck. It's totally like a Falcons fan starting Drew Brees and then he gets hurt. That's not a coincidence.
That's not a coincidence at all.
You were
absolutely right.
He totally hurt Drew Brees.
Yeah, I'm blaming Drew. I'm blaming Biggs. Biggs.
Yeah,
Biggs,
totally.
you suck.
So
I hope you lose the rest of your games. So side note, I'm done with AJ Green. I'm done with AJ Green. I'm probably gonna drop him actually. So anyone out there who wants AJ Green on waivers, yeah, he's about to be dropped.
Yeah. Seems like dinner's over for you. Just not cooking anymore, is it?
No. All
Yeah.
right.
No, Jared Cook just totally, like you can't get worse than that except for, negative points.
Yeah, if he fumbled.
You know what's funny though? You actually had the funny quote of the week last week, and I'll read it, and we'll just see what the viewers think of it. But
Oh
last week
no.
you were in quote, I think Tampa Bay is shifting the carries from Ronald Jones to Fournette. End of quotation marks. We'll let that sink in for a second. Oh man! But hey, on a side note, Jacob's investment is turning in some dividends for you.
It is producing. Yes, I know.
We knew that would happen. I mean, there's just too many carries that's going his direction over there. He's the number
I
one
mean,
back.
Devontae Johnson though, or yeah,
Devontae
Devontae
Booker.
Booker. Yeah, he tore up too. I was gonna get to that in Huff's matchup. I think Huff has him,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was my advice to myself. Actually, I'll get to that. But my my
You're still
remaining
giving
schedule.
advice for yourself?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I need it. I need it. I need
Well, I'm
all the
going to give
advice.
you some advice,
I
but
need all the advice I can get, whether it be from myself or from anyone else. Like I need to learn all of this information because my brain's not smart enough to process all these fantasy facts from week in, week out. It's just there's not enough up there. It's a big
just
head, but it's a lot of empty space.
get
Lot
more
of empty
smarter.
space. More smarter. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. I have Heller High Roller, Luke's Daddy, Fuck Yahoo, my hilarious name. I don't know what to think of my remaining schedule. I can just as easily go 1-3 as I can go 3-1. I don't know. I don't know because I can definitely lose 3 of those 4 games, and I can definitely win 3 of those 4 games.
Yeah.
No
There
idea.
is some. Let's see. There is. Have you seen online on the PC version or I guess the web version? It's not the app version of Yahoo.
Yeah, get on.
There actually is projections for you on how you will do the rest of the season.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it's actually pretty cool.
What does it say?
It had me literally winning the rest of my games. They're like, how are you losing? Was literally the question. But that was the biggest thing. They were like, how do you have this team and you're losing?
Yeah, why
Like
are
you're
you
gonna
losing,
win the
dude?
rest of the games. But they didn't take into account. They took the fact that Christian McCaffrey was in the game.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that literally makes a 30-point swing in
But
your
yeah, you've
favor.
got
So.
what do you got? You got Hell or High Water. You got My Hilarious Name. Who else you have?
Luke's Daddy and Fuck Yahoo. And Dave's team's been picking up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's gonna be tough. The good
Yeah.
thing is you have a 7-3 lead, so all you really need to do is probably win 1 or 2 of those games.
Yep.
I think one you can get by because your point standing is not too bad. I mean, you're in the top mix as far as points for.
Yeah.
So,
I want to win the schedule.
I think the high point or the
Best
league winner.
record. Yeah,
Yeah.
best record.
Yeah. So I think if you win 2, I think you're in completely. You're a lock. But
Okay, cool.
I think one you're fine.
All right, my advice for Biggs is just throw out the tape and move on. You had a bunch of, like we said, terrible buys, and just you got to progress forward. You're not out of it. Like we were saying, you can definitely go 3-1. So just keep going. Maybe make a trade or two. I don't know how active he's been, but yeah. And my advice for me, like we were talking about, just give up on Fournette. I'm not gonna do it, but just give up on Fournette.
Just do
It's
like a
done.
look. The best way to move on is to do some ceremonial, departure of him, and just make it a big deal, and then that way it helps you move on. It helps you get over it.
I don't
And
want to, man. I don't want to. I don't want to.
I know it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt, but you know
I
what?
don't.
We don't want to have to bring the lawyers into this and everything. But all right. Anyways, um, yeah, my advice for Biggs from here on out. I mean, it's gonna be a big matchup thing for you.
Yeah.
Play the matchups, try to figure out the best start each week. I know that's like, Captain Obvious advice, but that's gonna be
No,
what I think he's got a solid set on his team. I think he just has to figure out how to or just figure out what the right players are.
I don't
And I
think
think
that's.
that's
I
gonna
don't
be
think. I don't think it's as obvious as you make it sound. Because like, a lot of times, especially with people who love their team, they're just going to keep their starters in. They're not going to play the matchups. And with Biggs coming down the stretch, I think you're absolutely right. I think he needs to not worry about who his starters are and worry about who the matchups are. Like he might want to play Randall Cobb one of these days if Houston's playing some shitty defense like the Seahawks or something. I don't know who they play, but he might want to take that into account.
yeah.
Um, he might
Yeah,
not want to, but um, Antonio
he's
Brown
probably gonna be
didn't
in
do
that
too
system.
bad.
What's that?
Antonio Brown didn't do too bad.
No, he didn't. It looks like he's in the mix at least. So, but I think he's going to be dependent on a matchup too. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it depends on what cornerbacks on Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and if they do have like a good two quarterback system or cornerback system, defensive back system. If they have two
yeah,
good defensive backs, I think Brown is the beneficiary of that. And I think he's the matchup nightmare. So
you're absolutely right.
I
What's your advice for me?
I think it was the same advice for last week. Get that tight end problem fixed up.
Dude,
Like that's the
it's
only hole you've got right now. It's
I
like it's
know.
tight end. Even though you're still like dwelling on the Baltimore running backs, but the tight end position is what's killing you the most.
I
You're gonna have to fix that. And
I
honestly,
miss.
I think you can use Mark Ingram or J.K. Dobbins as trade bait to find like some promising. Or I wouldn't try to go for like headstrong for like a top tight end, but somebody who's got maybe some promise for the end of the season. You can use Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins' potential for that.
True, true. Yeah, I'm really missing Kelsey right now.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll ever trade Kelsey again.
Kelsey, get any worse?
No. All right. So I beat Falcons Tank 110.3 to 70.84. We're gonna move on to Meat Jerk and Beef Boys versus Fuck Yahoo. This one, let me see what this one was. Fuck Yahoo did well. I think like I was saying earlier, he's on a little bit of a roll. Um,
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I
it
think
was a
when
low. This was a huge win for Dave. Dave needed this one badly. He
big
needed
time.
this one almost as bad as you needed it.
Yep,
Um,
no, I agree.
this is where do you want to start? It was kind of a low score as far as Jer's standards go. He was a little low.
Well, the thing is, you look at that week um, for Devonte Adams, and you look and see 14.6, which any other receiver you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a great week, and then you look at it and you're like, you know what, that really wasn't a good week for Devonte Adams.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
It was
Like
like it's like,
Devonte
oh, that was a
Adams.
dud week, and it's just like, what?
Yeah,
But
I had that written down. Jerv's three-headed monster wasn't so scary this week.
yeah,
They didn't really produce very much. Yeah, I just love how almost 15 points for Devonte Adams is a slow week.
it's a slow week.
It's
Yeah,
so
that's funny, but
stupid.
good for Jared for him, and the rest of the season should be, unless I keep seeing this Q mark over by Devonte Adams. He keeps getting questionable. It
Uh-oh.
seems like he's a little beat up, but
I hate that. That cue gives me more anxiety than I think most things in my entire life. Like what does I think they just throw the cue up there if he gets like tired. if he's like sleepy at practice, they throw he's questionable. What does
Well,
he
yeah,
got?
and
Like,
if they
you know,
limit him at practice, that's one
like,
thing that they do. But
like,
also at the
come
same
on, the
time, it
man.
might be a lingering injury.
Exactly. You never know. Like, he could just need a nap, or he might have a ligament torn. Like, you never know. What the fuck, dude?
Need a
It's
nap.
like, yeah, like, come on, man. It just gives me so much
Top
anxiety. I don't.
athletes in the world. Yeah, he just needs a nap.
Yeah, just sleep it off. Just sleep it off. Um, Jerv is just. I think he's just the luckiest team in the league. He's got the least points for, or what was it? The second most points for, and the least points against. He's just the luckiest team in the league. He
Well, my thing is that's why my note I have down here is like why I told you to trade for a running back slash get yourself a balanced team is because if the wide receivers don't produce, then you can have your running backs to fall back to. But I mean he's starting Mike Davis, which started off pretty well in McCaffrey's place, but really hasn't been doing much.
no.
And then he also, I think it's, what is it? It says D Johnson, but I'm pretty sure it's Duke Johnson. Yeah, Duke Johnson. Not even
Well, you
David
never
Johnson.
know. You never know with the Texans running back.
Well, that's not
Could
a
be David.
consistent. That's
Could
not
be
a
Duke.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But it's not a consistent producer. I mean, in the league, that he's definitely got this team centered around how his wide receivers play,
Right.
which are good
Which
wide
I mean,
receivers, but
it's fine.
but
Um. Oh yeah. His team in general is just really inconsistent. If you look back, he's all over the place points wise. He definitely scores a lot of points, but he also has some weeks that you're just like, where did that come from?
what happened there?
Um, it's nice to see Chubb back in full action. Dave's got to be happy about that. Um,
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I mean, my biggest thing was I was just like, my first point was like, watch out, this team's back. I think, I
who?
mean, fuck Yahoo.
Oh yeah, Dave's
I think
Dave's big time back. Like he had
big time.
Gallman Jr. on the bench too. He is big back. T. Higgins is still tearing it up. Overall, like aside from Trey Burton, his team did fire.
Yep.
His team was
I think it's time to retire Burton on that
that's
one.
that was that's my advice. We'll get
That
to that
was the
later.
advice.
Yeah.
You're getting Burton on Burton,
Yeah.
You get Burton on Burton. But
Um,
which I mean, it's easy to look at it when you see that Hunter Henry is on there with 11 points,
yeah.
being
Yeah.
Captain Hindsight. But still, Hunter Henry's got more upside than Trey Burton does, at this point in his career. I mean, I knew at one time Trey Burton did have quite a bit of upside, but
Dude,
now at this point, Hunter Henry should be where it's
yeah.
at unless he's injured.
For sure, which is a possibility. He could get injured. He might not sleep a full 8 hours, and then he'll be injured.
You didn't sleep, man. Did you not get
I
enough last night?
no, I got like 4.5 hours. But
Good gosh, yeah, you're wiping your eyes.
what was I gonna say? Oh, Dave is that team that you just the record doesn't really show it, and he didn't have a great start, but he's that team down the stretch that you just don't want to play. Don't want to play because he could show out for 120 points like that. And here's the thing: he had Big Ben on his bench with 30 points.
Yeah.
Like, I to be honest, I think he should just start Big Ben the whole time.
Actually, that goes right into my advice to him.
Yeah,
But,
well,
I mean, I think
we'll get to that.
yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
But,
you're right about Mike Davis. He's had kind of a Jekyll and Hyde season.
yeah,
One week he's good, one week he's bad. I think
yeah.
he's just been that way consistently. Did you have anything else before we get to the remaining schedules?
Yeah, I mean, it's a few stats for Fuck Yahoo. He's got Gallman Jr., who's actually surprisingly the last 4 weeks has averaged over 14 points a game,
He has been
14.83.
fire.
Like,
Yes.
actually been really, really good. So as long as Devontae Freeman is not playing, which I think he has Devontae Freeman. Yep, he does have
Yeah.
Devontae Freeman. As
Yeah.
long as he's not playing, I mean, I think Gallman might be a play for, well, not with his running backs, Aaron Jones and Nick Chubb. I mean, he's at this point, I guess he could be trade bait. But
Well, I would have put him on in his flex.
over Judy, yeah, he might be a
Yeah,
little bit more consistent than
over
Judy.
Judy for sure.
Even though Judy does have some upside, I don't think it's this season though. I think it's next season.
Dude, look at this. He'll have Scary Terry, T. Higgins, Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, and Gallman Jr.
Yes, I mean
That's
Higgins.
ridiculous.
Higgins, I think we can consider almost a wide receiver one at this point with
Yeah,
the
at
chemistry
this
he's
point.
making with Joe Burrow. I mean, Cincinnati's not going to inhibit that. They want that. That's exactly why they drafted him, was
Right.
for this production. I mean, 14.3 in the last 7 games. I mean, that's consistent. That's
Yeah.
consistent producing right there. So, I mean, I mean, fuck Yahoo's. I think he's one of the scariest teams right now.
I agree. I agree. He's got what a 4-6 record, but he's the team that you don't want to play. Him and probably Swamp Jim right now are the two teams you don't want to play. You do not want to run into them anywhere, any scenario, especially the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because man, his team is just firing on all cylinders except for tight end. Blankenship's been doing well. Indianapolis has one of the better defenses.
Yep.
Like, I hate that we're just talking about fuck Yahoo because Jerv's team is not bad, but like,
it's just the way it's going right now.
It's the way it's going. His team is huge. He has now. Granted, he has a fucking gauntlet of a remaining schedule. He's got you next, then Swamp Jim, then me, and then Luke's daddy.
Ooh. I mean, that's 8, 1, 2, and 5 right there on the league standings right now, which, you know, my team and Yahoo Sports is, you know, projecting that too is a little bit better than what it typically is, but he's getting me at a good time. I will give him that. He's getting me at a good time because I don't have Christian McCaffrey starting this week. So it'll be crazy to see how that goes. But, you know, number 1 team in the league, number 2 team in the league, and number 5 team in the league, that's going to be tough. But I mean, what has he got? He's got 4-6 record.
Yeah.
4-6 record. I think he's got to win 3 of those though.
He's got to win 3 of them.
He's got to win 3 of them.
But here's the
pull
thing,
it off. But he can do it.
He can. That's exactly what I was saying. Like he can definitely pull that off. It's just gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Take it 1 week at a time.
And I think my advice is to start Big Ben over Tua. Tua is definitely enticing at this point, but I think you got to go with Big Ben. He's got the hotter team right now. I mean, they're undefeated. He's got a great overall team. He's got a great receiving staff. I mean, Claypool, Deontay Johnson, not to mention Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, I mess that up every single time. Every time. But yeah, I think you got to go with Big Ben moving forward.
I'd have to agree. Let me see what was mine. Oh, hang on. I want to get to Jerv's remaining schedule. He's got a cakewalk compared to everyone else. He's got Legion of Buttsex, Falcons Tank, I'm Ron Dynasty's team, and Over the Hill. He's got the easiest remaining schedule.
Yeah, I think Over the Hill will be his toughest matchup moving forward. But he's got 11 and 12, 6 and 7. I mean, that's pretty easy, and especially sitting on a 6 and 4 record right now. I mean, it definitely looks good. He could be up. I mean, and the way his division's going.
Yeah. His
division's not as strong as the other one. So
not even close.
Yeah, Division 2. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily that. I mean, because everybody's close.
Well, everybody's close. You're right.
Everybody's close.
It just feels like he's so much farther ahead than everybody else because of how many points he has. Yeah. And how little points he has against.
But I think because that's the thing. As long as he's got a tied record with somebody else, he's gonna win it. So he's gonna win that them head-to-head matchup.
So that was your advice for Dave. What's your advice for Jerv?
I've got a real, maybe controversial one, but my thing is trade Josh Allen. Trade Josh Allen at this point. He's he's shown that he can be slowed down.
And put Carson Wentz in?
No, I mean obviously you get yourself a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. Why is Why is Carson Wentz on his team, or
I
why
don't
is
know.
anybody from the NFC East quarterback wise on his team
Daniel
or anybody's
Jones.
team? Daniel Jones, he trips over air. Come on now, his argument's already
Dude,
done.
I love Daniel Jones. Did you see his run this past weekend?
Yeah,
He's
actually, it was good. He redeemed himself this year
I
or this
okay,
week.
he might not be that fast, but every time I see him, I see Eli Manning. So when I watch him run, he looks like he's lightning speed because I'm so used to because in my brain that's Eli Manning. So
Yeah.
you know how Eli Manning looks like a newborn giraffe when he tries to run, and when Daniel Jones is like just sprinting to the end zone, I'm like, holy shit, he's the fastest guy on the planet. But in reality, he just looks really fast because I keep thinking that's Eli Manning in my head.
Like, where did he buy those new legs at or something?
Yeah, where did he go? Like, does Walmart have a sale on some new legs or something? Lieutenant Dan gave him his legs or something. I don't know, man. Um, okay,
One of those.
my advice for Dave, which we touched on earlier, Trey Burton's done. He had one good week. That's it. That's it. It's like it's just I don't know. It's like a couple, a relationship that had like a span of 2 great months, and they just keep clinging on to that because even though the relationship's gone to shit, they just keep they just keep clinging on to that one time where for a couple of months everything was just bliss, and it's not. Just get rid of Trey Burton.
Yeah. He might be
My
getting caught up with the fandom talk because when you're a fan of an NFL team like he is with the
true,
Colts, a lot
true,
of times you
true.
get caught up in that talk like of the hype with
Hmm.
certain players,
I mean,
and it just doesn't pan out as much.
he's got 3 different players from the Colts on his team, so which isn't bad. I mean, Blankenship and Indianapolis D are good. So for Jerv, you got to find a legit running back too if you're going to want to make a push in the playoffs. That's my advice. I think we touched on this earlier. Like, I just don't. I don't know. I don't see Davis being that guy, and I
Yeah.
mean Duke Johnson
Well,
isn't either.
when
So
McCaffrey comes back, Mike Davis is irrelevant.
agreed. And actually, he needs to find running backs in general because
Yep.
like Duke Johnson's not good. Mike Davis not going to be good once McCaffrey gets back. So get some running backs, bud. As or you won't have much of a push in the playoffs. Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Fuck Yahoo beats Meat Jerkin Beef Boys 111.66 to 91.66. Moving on, Swamp Jim versus I'm Ron Dynasty's team? Huh?
Mhm.
I'm still confused. See, James, this is what happens when you listen to us. Noah Fant on the bench, and Brown in at flex. Ta-da!
Yeah, he also listened to me. He came up to me for some running back advice, and I told him to pick up Burkhead.
Oh, okay, that was you?
Yeah, I told him
I
to
was
do
like,
that.
James is not smart enough at
How
fantasy
did he?
to have
Yeah,
predicted. Okay, because I actually had that written down. I was
did
like,
you?
yeah, I was wondering who told him about Burkhead because I know for a fact he didn't come up with that shit on his own. There's
Yeah.
absolutely no fucking way. I
Yeah,
was
no, I
like,
told him on that one.
okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Like this beginner's luck is just fucking with my head now.
Yeah, right.
They're just playing mind games with me. This one, Swamp Jim is finally he's back. He's back. That's all I can say. He's back. Kyler Murray is the absolute shit. I fucking love Kyler Murray. Like that man bouncing around. He's must see TV every week. And I honestly, I hate him. I hated him this year or this week because that last. Okay, so you remember how we had a quarterback bet?
Yep.
I was winning up until that last Hail Mary. That last Hail Mary is what beat me. If DeAndre Hopkins hadn't caught that ball, I would have won.
That's nuts.
It's wild. And, like, it's just, I don't know. It was fitting that it was Kyler Murray. Still on the fucking Murray train, baby. Choo-choo.
Who you have? Oh, you got Rodgers. That's right.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, speaking of which, dude, I was thinking we should do a parlay bet. So, like, number one quarterback, number one running back, number one wide receiver, all totaled together. Whoever wins that one. Or, quarterback, number one running back, and kicker.
I'll throw that kicker in there, huh?
Or quarterback, kicker, defense. Like, all of them added up.
Yeah.
Do like a side bet.
That'll put it that way. We're not just scraping at the bit on, let's just do a wide receiver this time, or let's just do running back.
Yeah.
That'll put a collective one.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Cool. Yeah, I had, which we touched on earlier, Baltimore defense over NOLA. Dude, don't do that. NOLA's on fire right now.
Yeah.
Stop.
So their defense, they came back around, and they have potential. They play really well. Especially last year, they played very, very well, and they didn't do anything to really change that. They kept most of all the same players. Actually, they've even put a little bit more into it. They traded off Kiko Alonso, who I thought was a pretty good player, but I thought they got a better player with, probably the same with Quan Alexander. It just he plays in that system a little bit better than Kiko does.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Adam Thielen had a great game, and that was 100% because he wore the Alex Trebek cleats.
Oh, absolutely.
R.I.P. in peace.
If I was Kirk Cousins, I would have thrown to him with those cleats.
Yeah, for sure. And Kirk Cousins loves Alex Trebek. Kirk Cousins is the stereotypical Jeopardy watcher. Like he waits. Yeah, he waits impatiently by his TV for Jeopardy to come on, and he's the annoying one that is just like sitting there by it, like, what is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? And yeah, that's so. Of course Cousins is going to throw it to him. I had no doubt in my mind. Kamara's a monster, and the funny thing is most of that was in the air.
I know, right? Well, yeah, so that, I don't think it's a coincidence that, Kamara being back and, Swamp Jim being back are the same thing. He's definitely been riding that train,
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely 2 and 2 are going together, but it's not like it's very short on other ends of the spectrum.
Dude, when Chris Carson comes back, man, Swamp Jim's team's gonna be fucking scary.
Yeah, his running backs definitely are what's carrying his team.
Yeah. All right, I want to talk about Chris's team for a little bit. AJ Brown was unfortunate. AJ Brown was he had a 5-game streak where he had at least one touchdown in every single game. This one, it was just an off week. It was kind of an off week for his whole team besides Murray and Juju. Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be back. At this point, I would start Claypool and Juju. Big Ben's been tossing the ball around a little bit.
I'd check the matchup with Claypool, but Juju's still smart or still start. Claypool's been playing. He's been playing so well that he comes in as a start, but I'd still play kind of the matchup with him. But I wouldn't be afraid to play Claypool and Juju if the right matchup is going. Right. I would still, my personal preference, because I don't like having the same ball player or same two people from the same team in the same position on a team. I would try to trade them or one of them.
Which now would be the time to trade him.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Dude, Denver needs to figure something out, man. Because Melvin Gordon can be good on a consistent basis, but Denver just sucks.
I kind of had some advice for Chris on that one, but I'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, they definitely not looking good.
Um, let's see. Yeah, Chris. I mean, like even if Chris's players that were supposed to go off went off, I still he had 40 points to make up. Which he could have made it more of a game. It was just it's tough. There was nothing he could really do about it. Like, because even if he started Claypool, even if like Brown had a better game, there's still no guarantee that he would have won.
Yeah.
So for Chris, just a tough. Good thing for Chris.
One thing I was questioning was that he had Godair over Juno Smith.
Jonnu.
Juno Smith is sitting on Dallas Godair.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert over Jonnu Smith.
Yeah. So that's one question. That's the question.
Why?
Not like it was going to make that big of a deal, a difference maker, but I just didn't. I didn't get that matchup.
What? Because Jonnu had a decent week against a great Chicago defense last week.
Yeah.
I don't know why you didn't just keep starting them.
Yeah.
Did Goddard like have a favorable matchup or something?
That would be my guess, is that he had a favorable matchup, but
Okay,
I
well,
don't know what's going in Chris's mind all the time.
no, I never know what's going on in Chris's mind, which is kind of why I love the guy, because you just never know what you're gonna get from him. He's just like he's more a wild card than most of the people we dub as wild cards.
Yeah, no, that's very true, and that doesn't, it just doesn't leave any room for boredom.
No.
He's always gonna bring something exciting and just random. So you're always kind of on the edge of your seat, just wondering, hey, what's he gonna do next? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen on the Snapchat?
Yes. It's fun because like once you learn to roll with it, it's actually highly entertaining. But you just you gotta accept that that's just who Chris is as a person. It's just who he is. And then once you've accepted that and moved on, it's a world of entertainment from that kid. It's great.
I feel like if we turn this into like a series, like a YouTube series, reality fantasy football series, I feel like Chris
like the league.
Like the league, but like put it more of a reality show ish rather than a sitcom comedy.
Yeah,
it could be a funny reality show.
It'd be funny as fuck.
But the point I was making was if Chris, if we characterize all the, the different, or profile all the different team owners, I feel like Chris would have like a small but cult following.
Yeah.
I think
it might not even be that small. It's just definitely
it could be a large one, but I think
it's just that he'll have a very, very specific cult following. Yeah. Agreed. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. Let's go over the remaining schedules. James has Luke Daddy, Fuck Yahoo, My Hilarious Name, High Roller. I say that's a 2-2, maybe a 3-1. Yeah. He'll lose one of those games. He'll probably win 3 of them.
It'll probably, like I said, it'll probably be dependent on how Kamara does.
He'll be 10-4. That's my take. Chris has Over the Hill, Dax ankle, me jerking beef boys, Falcons tank. Chris can 100% go 4-0. Like, yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but his schedule is very weak. Over the Hill, I think he's going to lose. Dax ankle, he can win. Meat jerking beef boys, I think he might lose, but he can win all of these. I think he'll go 2-2, but he can definitely go 4-0.
Yeah.
Like it's
2-2, that gets him 7-7. That's right on the bubble. That's right on the playoff bubble right there.
Yeah.
I think he needs to
in the hunt.
Yeah,
in the hunt.
He's in the hunt. I think he needs to do a 3-1 to really solidify it, but I think 2-2 is probably the most reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have anything else? We gotta move on. We got 3 more matchups in the weekend preview. So
Well, I guess we'll go to advice. I think Gordon's got to go. I don't like the whole situation at Denver right now. I don't like how Gordon's his role into it. I think Gordon's got to go. And Swamp Jim.
oh wait, hang on. I want to go back to that. You say Gordon's got to go. What? Trade him? Drop him?
Yeah,
Anything?
this not the starting lineup. Got to go
Oh
from the starting
gosh.
lineup at
Oh
least.
boy.
So I don't. I just. I mean, I got him in. I've got him in another league, and I mean that's my thing. My take on it is like I don't. I don't like him anymore. I don't like the role he's playing in it in the offense. I don't like. No, I don't think it's a lot
That's
of potential.
tough. That's tough. All right. What about for James?
Trade one of your defenses. Trade one of your
So
defenses.
that's true. He's got it. He's got 2 starter caliber defenses.
Yep, and that's pretty high value. And you really only have like 2 good. Usually, you only have like 2 or 3 good defenses in the league. So
Mm-hmm.
that's good. That's good value. I mean, I know that they don't score a lot of points, but compared to other defenses
Yeah.
in the league, you have to focus on disparity too, because everybody's got to start a defense. So, and if there's a lot more disparity like there is like with tight ends and defenses, that brings a value up on a lot of them. So I think he could trade tight end for a little bit more depth, or not tight end. He can trade his defense for a little bit more depth.
Right. No, I agree. My advice for James is to start Nola's defense, like we talked about. Like they're playing out of their minds right now. They're on fire.
And then
There's
he can trade Baltimore, which
and he can trade Baltimore. Somebody will want Baltimore's defense. Chris Claypool, last 5 of 6 games has been on fire. If you look at his past 6 games, 5 of them have been fire. I think he should play both of them. I think he should keep Juju in, and he should play Claypool. That's my advice. I mean, definitely keep AJ Brown in. I don't know. I guess you got to play the matchups because he's got AJ Brown, Brandon Cooks, and Juju. I think Claypool and Juju need to be in his starting lineup, but I don't know for which one. So, do you have anything else?
that's it.
All right. Swamp Jim beats Imran Dynasty's team, 129.82 to 90. Moving on to Dax Ankle versus My Hilarious Name, matchup of the week. Joe, congratulations, bud. Congratulations, you finally won one of these close ones, and boy, did you need it. Holy shit.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I was watching it. I was watching it with my dad this time, and actually I've kind of showed him
Just
like
your dad?
yeah, just my dad. But I kind of showed him like a new meaning of like watching football, like how like fantasy watchers like watch football. And that's because that's the
Really?
thing. It's like he had no dog in the fight in that Chicago Vikings game. I mean, obviously it wasn't even that like that really great of a game. I think it was just like
No, it
bad
sucked.
teams like just
No,
falling off.
that game was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even get to see Dalvin Cook really do his thing. I mean, it
Well,
was terrible.
it's tribute to the Chicago Bears. Testament to how good they are.
Yeah, no, that is, but yeah. So basically, I mean, I'm still at the edge of my seat in this game. I'm literally watching Nick Foles' eyes, and I'm like, you do not go to that right side. Allen Robinson's on that right side. Like. Where and then next thing you know, Null starts popping up, and was like at first it was like Lamar Miller was playing. I was like, oh, so they're not even gonna play Null. And then they who else? Somebody else popped up, and I was like, they're definitely not playing Null. And then I see this white boy in there. I'm like, wait, what? Null? But yeah, no, it was crazy. And actually, like I said, it makes other games so much more fun.
Yeah, no, it does. I'm glad you were able to finally get through because I've been trying to like push fantasy on Dad. I know he would like it. I know he would love it. Like he's hard headed, so like he doesn't want to like get started.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of things I wanted to address. Now, we had been saying, like I said, we had been saying you needed a win, you needed a win, you needed a win. But I'm pretty sure if you would have lost this game, you would have been done. I think that's
Yeah.
established.
Well,
Um,
like that's why I was saying if I lost this game, I would have had to trade Christian McCaffrey because I would have had to get somebody. Because I would
right,
have given up. I would have given up my playoff run for a playoff push.
right. Agreed, agreed.
That was
Um,
It's not something I want to do. I want to try to get to especially if I can get to the playoffs with McCaffrey going off. It's gonna look fire for me.
why did you have Evans on the bench? There's a couple of would you would did this was one of the questions, and were you just angry at Harris for what he did to you last week?
Well,
Why
yeah,
were
I
these
mean,
people on the bench?
yeah, he's on my doghouse, so I benched him.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, that's completely understandable. I just had to clear the air.
Well, he also got hurt at the end of the game before. If,
Okay.
if
All
you
right.
remember seeing that,
No,
yeah,
I did. I don't.
yeah, he got hurt at the end of the game before. Actually, end up getting off the field and going to the training room. So I didn't think he was going to actually be that productive.
Okay.
And
And Mike Evans. Now address this, please. I want to know your reason.
Mike Evans, I went over, or I started Jarvis Landry over because I thought they were going that direction in the offense, but now I've solidified that Jarvis Landry is not going to be any focal part of
No.
Baker Mayfield's game.
No. I could have told you that Cleveland will only run the ball.
Well, they're only running the ball, but at the same time, though, I didn't know Nick Chubb was coming back. I didn't know if they were going to put a full workload on him just yet after being out for quite some time. I
Granted, the weather was not favorable for
Yeah, the
passing.
weather didn't help me out either. So yeah, that was the reasoning. And then I'm kind of still worried about the whole Antonio Brown setup over
Mm-hmm.
at Tampa Bay. But the thing is Mike Evans is becoming a very, very trusted target of Tom Brady, and he's becoming a very big red zone target. So from
Right.
moving forward, I most likely will be starting him. I think I did already start him,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Cool.
that was the reasoning behind that.
Um, one quick little side note: both kickers scored the second most on each team. They averaged 16 points. Just want to throw that out there. No real reason. Um, real quick for Matt, did you set your lineup or did Megan set your lineup? Because why the fuck was Edmonds not playing and Null was?
Right?
You do realize if he would have started Edmonds, he would have won. Like
Oh, he would have won hands
that
down.
would. Why do you start Null?
I keep telling him start Edmonds. I
I told Kirk and Edmonds,
Yep.
both of them. Arizona's awesome. Did he do it because Montgomery's out?
I guess so, but I mean, the
He
thing
thought he was clever,
their
huh?
their running game is very, very vanilla, very bland.
Yeah.
They even diagnosed that on Monday Night Football how Chicago's running game is just like
Dude, they haven't had a running game since Matt Forte.
very true.
They, they suck. They
Touche.
suck. Hey, Andrew's had a good day.
Yes, actually, that's actually what won it for me. Be honest with
Yeah.
you, I had Jimmy Graham in my starting lineup up until Monday or Sunday Night Football, and
Really?
a last minute switch. Yep, because
Ooh.
I was I was very close. I was very close in the matchup, so I had to go. I went with more upside rather than the safer play,
Huh.
and it paid off.
Good for you, dude. Good for you. The last problem I wanted to address on your team is Russell Wilson. Are you in the least bit concerned?
Yes, because Rams actually played a defensive zone 78% of their snaps against the
Holy
Seahawks.
nerd Joe coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, 78% they played zone, and it's working. Apparently,
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills did it against them, and it seemed to solve it, contain him, and it's doing the same thing for Russell Wilson. So, to be honest with you, I thought he was an untouchable player, but if I get the right trade, might be willing to part with him a little bit. But yeah, he can't diagnose the zone, which is why actually Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are also suffering from it because he can't pick the part of the zone.
Damn, did they figure out? That's what happens when you let Russ cook too much. They just figure out they have too much film. And when you have so much film on somebody, you're bound to figure out a way to stop them.
That's why offensive players always burst onto the scene at the beginning of the year, and then defenses adjust. They got to figure out what their game plan is and like what their tendencies are, and you're only going to get that from getting more data.
Right, and you can't keep throwing the same shit out there every single week because they'll figure it out easier. You got to change it up. Now, I'm not saying Russ isn't a great player. He'll probably bounce back. I don't know. I think he will. He's phenomenal. He's one of the best in the game. Yeah. But I mean, you just kind of like it. It just makes you concerned just a little bit. Like,
well, they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go back to their roots, and that's gonna be whenever Chris Carson comes back.
Yeah,
once that run game is able to get effective to where it's gonna take some pressure off of Russell Wilson. He can do this. He can effectively do the play action. He'll be able to turn it around. But yeah, I am a little bit in panic mode because of him because that's kind of been killing me because I was.
You hit the panic button
for a little bit. What's up?
You hit the panic button.
In that panic button.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, a little bit of a panic button on him.
Do you have anything else besides the advice?
Well, I've got. Yeah, did that. Yeah, Harrison McKinnon are both just playing games with me at this point.
Yep, they are.
Last week, McKinnon had 14 points on the bench. This week, Harris had 14 or 15 points on the bench. That I don't know. But. Actually, one thing I was going to say to Dak's ankle is Deontay Johnson is going to eat you alive. He is going to eat you alive.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be – you're going to have to, like, literally play – like, you're going to have to diagnose and figure out what cornerbacks are going against who and figure out what that cornerback's PFF grade is and, like, figure – I don't know. I even doing that, you might not even figure out who Big Ben's going to throw to. Now, this week, everybody was the beneficiary. You had 18 points from Juju. You had 17 points from Claypool. And then you had 20 points from Deontay Johnson. It just was a field day. But, I mean, it's gonna eat you alive because I guarantee you're going to want to start Deontay Johnson.
Oh, yeah. He's a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He's going to – he's going to start him next week, and Deontay's going to have 1.6 points.
Going to eat him alive. I don't know. You got to figure out something. You might have to cure that virus right there and just get it. Sell it away. Yeah, get rid of it.
Just get rid of it. The only way to know if it's yours is just set it free. Just let it go.
Just set it free. Yeah. Yeah, and then I LOL'd on Null over Edmonds because I keep saying.
Yeah.
I keep saying in this podcast. I don't know if he listens to it or not. Like, start Edmonds. Edmonds is good. He's a good play.
He's a good play every single week.
He's a good. The Arizona is such a high-powered offense, and they're scoring such a high level that there's a lot of opportunity to go around. Yeah, and he's one of those options. Touchdown last week. No, he didn't have a touchdown.
So Matt's remaining schedule is Falcons Tank 21, I'm Run Dynasty's team, Over the Hill, Legion of Butt Sex. He can 100% go 2-2. I think he can go 3-1.
Yeah, it looks like we're all playing within our division for the last of it.
For the most part, for the last of it. And he's in that easy division. He needs to go 3-1, which he can absolutely do. He can absolutely do. I think he might lose to Over the Hill, but he'll either lose to I'm Ron Dynasty's team or Over the Hill. He'll definitely – I think he'll beat Falcons Tank and Legion of Buttsex. But we'll see. You have Fuck Yahoo, Hell or High Waller, Swamp Jim, Viggo Mortenstein. Big
that's 1, 2, 4, and 9 right there.
Big
with the 9 being the hottest team in the league.
Big oof.
Yeah.
You have the hardest schedule remaining. Like, I know Luther has a hard one. Who was it? Well, there was somebody earlier we talked about has a hard one.
Yeah.
You got the hardest one, bro.
Yeah.
You got because like you said, the number 9 might be one of the hottest teams in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be big, which is why I did that. Which is why I did a high risk trade. Because I mean, if it's just going to be, if I'm going to get something, like I mean, I'm going to just need, especially hopefully, I'm just going to hopefully ride on Michael Thomas being go-to guy for Jameis Winston. But yeah, it doesn't look too bright for me.
No, well, that's why it's a good segue to my advice. Hang in there, buddy. Just hang in there. You're I mean you got it once McCaffrey gets back, it's amazing how much one player can make a difference on a team. But Evans, Harris, McCaffrey, maybe Russell start cooking again, Diggs. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But if I can get Connor to get some touchdowns again and get a couple other things rolling, I think Harris might be good. I know they like Harris in New England. I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I'm just going to have to
buckle down. Buckle down.
I think this next week's going to be a real indicator because I mean I definitely need to win at least 3 games to get myself in that playoff push.
No, you have to win 3 of those games.
And
which one?
Ooh, yeah.
I got for Matt. I got never, ever, 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 ever start Nall again, or anyone from the Bears offense for that matter. Just don't do it. Done. Never start him again.
Start Edmonds. Start Edmonds. I've been saying it week after week. Start Edmonds. Good play.
Yeah. Why?
That's my advice. Start Edmonds.
You didn't give yourself any advice?
No, I never give myself advice.
Oh, yeah,
Talk about this.
Yeah, it's true. All right. If you don't have anything else, we got the last 2.
Yep.
My hilarious name beats Dak's ankle 84.42 to 82.68. Coming in next is Hell or High Waller versus Over the Hill. Again, Over the Hill being one of those teams that it's just they're one of those teams you don't want to play because like they can put up 120 points like nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then he had the 70 points on his bench. Well, that's partially because of Tom Brady, and the QBs are going to skew that a little bit. But
that's the thing. You don't want to start Tom Brady very often. You only want to start Tom Brady after a loss. That's it. Because when they lost to Green Bay, he went on a tear. When they lost to Chicago, or no, they didn't lose. Who did they lose to? Yeah, they lost to Green Bay, Chicago, and the Saints. After the game after each one of those games, each one of those losses, the game after, he went off. He went on a tear. So you just got to hope Tom Brady loses this week so you can start him next week.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
Yeah, because he's going to have to get on that carousel or get off that QB carousel he's got rolling right now. He started Tom Brady the week before with 5 points, and then he started Lamar Jackson, who didn't give him bad points. He gave him 22, but I mean, that's 31 still sitting on their bench, though.
The Ravens just don't look very good. That's just the problem. Huff did have a nice week, though. Matt Patricia finally dug his head out of his ass and is starting DeAndre Swift. It took him a while to move on from AP, but it's about damn time because, as you can see, DeAndre Swift is good. He's very good.
We talked about that during the trade, how he had quite a bit of upside, and he was actually playing. He was already playing good, and just I mean, that's the thing. You don't draft DeAndre Swift, second round, and then not play him.
Yes.
You can't do that.
I agree. Again, I wanted to reiterate, he had 70-something points on the bench and still scored 120. Granted, 30 of those on the bench were from Tom Brady, but still. For Luther, it's nice to see Kareem Hunt still did well with Nick Chubb in.
That was definitely very promising. Like, it's I mean, they're just the Cleveland game plan is, they're going to run the ball and they're going to
Oh
run.
no, they'll figure out a way to fuck it up. They'll figure out a way to throw the ball. They'll just throw the ball, even like it doesn't matter because Baker Mayfield just had he just has to throw the ball. I don't know.
It's the ego thing. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
a Heisman Trophy winner.
That and like the only reason they didn't throw the ball last week is because God made them not. He was like, I'm going to give you the worst weather possible, so you have to run the ball. And then show you that you can run the ball. And then to show you how stupid you are, you're going to do the opposite next week.
You're
So
gonna just
that's what the Browns are going to do. That's what the Browns always do.
yeah, but
Sorry,
they
Huff. I know that's your team.
yeah, but they still got a good record right now, which is crazy. Even
Blows my
saying
mind.
it does blow my
Um,
mind.
Luther needs Mixon back. Big time.
Yep,
Ridley.
Mixon's missing too much time.
Yeah,
I
I know.
I think I was trying to make that into a pun, but I didn't write a note on there to pronounce it as a pun. But Mixon is missing. No, it doesn't work. All right, forget it.
Good try though. Good try.
Pun week was last week.
Yeah, he'll have Ridley back. The Raiders, I think, will throw a little bit more. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I was hoping Waller would do better, but um. So what's up with Booker?
Devontae Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's currently sitting on over the Hills bench with 20 points.
I know, but do I need to worry about anything with Josh Jacobs?
No,
Is Booker gonna keep doing that? Because he's done well this past week and the week before.
nah. I mean, they'll have him. They'll have him there. I mean, he got a touchdown last week, 68 yards. He's not in his prime, so I mean he's pretty rested right now. So they're trying to give Josh Jacobs a little break, so he's not as worn down at at the playoffs at the end of the
Yeah.
playoffs. So
Mm-hmm.
it depends on. It actually, honestly, it depends on how the Raiders do. I mean, if the Raiders are, keep winning and they're basically already in the playoffs, then they're going to probably ease off of Josh Jacobs. But as it looks right now, it looks like Kansas City's going to take that division. They're going to be fighting for a wild card spot. Look for them to be kind of saving up Josh Jacobs for a playoff push in
Well,
real life.
that's okay
So
in real life.
right, not fantasy.
um, to be honest, I think Darius Slayton is just, even though he had 11.8 points, I think he's Luth's kryptonite. I
Yeah,
think that's what it is.
but I mean that's a solid contributor right there. I mean when you get somebody over 10 points like that, I mean I think in a half PPR league you want to get about 12, which he's at that 11.8.
I don't know. Just
You can't blame him for that. I mean
I
definitely.
don't. It's just I just think he's. I don't know. I just think he's his kryptonite. We'll see next week. Next week Slayton's on a bye, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
Parker and Rager was his big downfall. But the good positive side of that is that they both saw 7 targets each, so
Yes,
which is good volume.
that
So
is good volume.
they are a focal point in the offense at some point. So those could turn around, but that's what kind of messed them up.
I agree. I agree.
I like his play. I like what Hell and High Water or Hell or High Water Waller. Gosh dang,
Waller.
I'm having so much trouble. Anyways, I like his play on benching and keeping Butner. Really putting an emphasis on kickers and
I love it.
trying to save your kickers. I mean, I do like actually keeping my kicker, but the thing is, I usually let him go and then I'll pick him back up on
Uh-huh.
on the waivers, off the waivers if somebody doesn't pick him up. But yeah, I like the strategy here. Keep him on the
I mean,
bench. Don't even let anybody try to get Buckner.
no, don't. I mean, he's a good kicker. I think he's
He
one of
is
the
a great
best in the
kicker.
game.
I'm not trying to make fun of it. I'm
Yeah,
applauding it.
yeah, me too. I'm a fan. Robinson for Huff. Robinson did well. His team's pretty good. He's taking full advantage of that Myers trade. You saw that?
The
Myers had 13.6 points.
Oh yeah, no, I told you. I mean, he's a good play. I think you do have to look at some matchups, moving forward. But I think Myers is a great play. I think like I said, I thought the chemistry with him and Cam Newton was like authentic. I didn't think it was just a matchup thing. I thought he actually was looking for Myers
Mm-hmm.
consistently when he was in trouble, and
Right.
that's a chemistry that
Right.
chemistry connection that you look for.
I agree. All right. So the remaining games for Luth is me, you, Luke's daddy, and Swamp Gem. Tough, 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 tough. Um,
Yeah, that's another tough one.
I think he can get through with 2-2, making him 8-6.
Oh yeah, if he gets two games, he's playoff. He's
Yep. He
playoff
just needs
material.
he just needs two. Huff has I'm Ron Dynasty's team, Legion of Buttsack, Stacks, Ankle, Meek Jerk, and Beef Boys. I think he can go 2-2 as well. He can
I
definitely
think
go
he
three
can go
and
three
one.
and one.
Yeah, 3-1.
I think it's very easy for him to go 3-1. And I mean, honestly, I don't. He might even get a win with me jerk and beef boys and like lose to Run Dynasty, like
Yeah,
one of
he
those kind
could.
of switcheroos. But
That is true. Um, so for the advice I have for Huff, always start DJ Moore. I know he makes it difficult sometimes. Um, always start DJ Moore. You have to. He's too good. Um, and start Brady after a loss, which we talked about earlier. Um,
yeah, but
for
that's start. I would say start DJ Moore if Teddy Bridgewater's playing. Well,
I
because I
don't
mean, he left
know,
that game last week. I don't know what the status is if he's coming back or not.
but a
But you're
lot of
right.
times
If
those
everything's the same, if everything's constant, then yes, you're right. You start DJ Moore every time.
right. I don't know. The backup QBs tend to like those big target wide receivers. So
Very true.
um, so for Luth, I'd say just stay patient. The good start still has you in a good position. And I don't know, going down the stretch, if he can get Mixon and everybody healthy, he's got a chance, like I said, to go 2-2,
Yep.
make the playoffs. So, um, yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. Well, my thing for over the hill, I think honestly, stay put, ride this team. I really do like how he traded for his team. Like, I really have to say, huge props to Hupp for his total turnaround of this season. Starting from an auto draft where he didn't get to draft any of his players. Then he traded for Jackson, traded for Ayuk, Meyer, Swift, Robinson. It was a great pickup. I think he had Robinson, but he might or picked him up from the waiver wire. But
From waivers, yeah.
he has crafted this team beautifully. Like quite like well done, well done. But yeah, I say stay put now. Don't you don't need to make too much moves. I think you just need to ride this team.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I think you're fine. Um you just play the matchups, play the better, play the best players that each week, and I think you'll be set. Then hell or high Waller.
There you go. You
My
did it.
I did it. I did it. I know. I concentrated really hard on it. Really used what was left of my coffee in me. Anyways, QB matchup play is what I've got. I think from that, I don't think Tannehill right now. I think there's been a little bit of struggle with him. I think there's been a little struggle with the Tennessee Titans. I think a play or one that you have to play maybe a two QB system and play the matchup from now
Yeah.
on. That because I mean that 10.7 points. I mean that hurts you. That kills you on that one. And
Right.
you get a normal 20-point game out of that. And this is a little bit closer, but you also have to have some other things come from you. But I mean that's a huge jump with 10 points.
Huge.
I mean that's like if you typically want your players, all your other players, to be over 10 points, like 12 points, like I was saying, averaging.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a player not or getting 0 points for you in
Right.
comparison. You want your quarterbacks to get about 20. If we're not playing a two QB system, you want your quarterbacks to be getting 20.
Right.
And that's why I'm kind of panicking and hitting the panic button on Russell with him putting up 11 points as well. So
I think it's still too early for you to hit the panic button, but
Russell has more upside than Tannehill does.
agreed.
Is 1 point you can
Agreed.
look at.
Yeah, no, he definitely has a quarterback situation here. But you never know. Derek Carr can go from putting up 7 points to putting up like 30. So, we'll see where that goes. Do you have anything else on this matchup?
That's it. That's it.
Okay. Over the Hill beats Heller High Waller 120.92 to 85.78. And moving on to the last but not least matchup is Luke's daddy versus Legion of the Butt Sex.
Oh, man.
Luke likes butt stuff now.
Luke's gay.
Luke's gay.
There's no way around it at this point. Look, we caught your cover.
Gay.
Like,
yeah, it's just manifested itself slowly throughout this season.
yeah. I mean, we've seen by the name,
Yeah,
how
that's
it's
what I'm
changed
saying.
and progressed throughout the season. Yeah, no,
He
Luke's
just
gay.
he uses his brain to put one or two letters, change up one or two letters at a time, because that's about all he could process. And yeah, now we got it. He's just the Legion of Butt Sex, and Bobby says, "Daddy."
Which just also throws a whole nother wrench into this. But anyways,
so my first note was nuke, fucking nuke.
Yep, Nuke was the one-man wonder this week for him. Good
Dude,
gosh, I hate his team. I hate it. It's like always, every single time. And now, obviously, this one was a little bit more so of a team, all-around team effort. But he's always got that one player that just goes off.
Always, dude.
He's the one player.
So, like, okay, now it's nice to see he can win without Dalvin Cook getting 50 fucking points, but come on. You beat a guy who scored 68 fucking points. Congratulations. Whoop-de fucking do. Yeah, okay, you're right. You know what? I'm hot now, too. I'm pissed at it now. I don't like it. I don't like Bobby's team anymore.
No, it sucks. No, it's terrible. I hate it.
He's a one-man wonder. I get it.
One-man wonder. You get it now? You're on board?
I'm on board. I'm on board. You convinced me. Now I will say this about Luke. Anyone and everyone he cared about on his team had a bye. So that's gotta decrease morale. Morale is definitely decreased.
That is pretty huge. Matt Ryan, Ezekiel, and Kelsey.
And then the guy who matters most, Greg the Leg.
Oh yeah,
Greg the Leg's the heart and soul of his team. Like without Greg the Leg, he's destined to lose.
Well, see, and you notice that he did the same thing. Was he kept Greg the Leg on his team, but I wouldn't expect anything else.
No, yeah, that was kind of like.
Actually, if he would have dropped Greg the Leg, I would have just picked him up just for the sheer fact that I knew I could trade him, like I did with Todd Gurley.
I would have dropped him from the league like mid-season. Just cancel Luke.
Everybody get a bye week during the time they're supposed to.
Yeah, everyone just has a bye week. Nigel Hines and Marvin Jones Jr. on the bench kind of stings. That kind of sucks. I mean, Nigel Hines should be a start. He's a must start, right?
Hines, that actually was one of my advices. Was that it was going to get to that, but yeah, Hines is now he's a player now in the league, and I mean I know that's Captain Obvious advice, but anyways, no, he's definitely a play now, and
yeah, for sure,
because Jonathan Taylor hasn't taken over that backfield like we thought he would. And so they're kind of scrambling around for another option, and it's kind of almost like that Marlon Mack situation where Marlon Mack just kind of got seized control of the starting lineup, and then just kind of didn't let go for quite some time.
Right.
Until it's this year he got hurt, and so I think Hines is getting to that point where he's kind of seizing that season that backfield, and I think that's going to be the play from here on out for Indianapolis.
I agree. Well, where was I? I had a Philly. Somebody started a Philly player that sucked. Yeah, Fulgham. I just like Chicago. No more Philly players. No more Philly players. Just don't start them. Somehow Kai Forbath is on the IR, which just blows my fucking mind. How the fuck is a kicker on the IR?
I don't get it.
What?
Turf toe?
What? So even though we say Bobby is really, really volatile, and by volatile I mean he's a one-man show, like he's dependent on one player going off. This is his first time he's scored under 100 points since week 5.
Wow.
He's not like he's got a good team. Yes,
well, we never said he's like volatile. We just said he was producing and just like one guy was producing.
I know, and we kind of focus on that a lot, and it's fun. That's why we focus on it. Yeah. I have a great time doing it. But his team's not bad. His team is actually really good. It's actually very good. I think he's still on I think he's on like a 5-game win streak right now. So like
it's on a 4-game.
4-game win streak. Okay.
Give him his balls back.
Yeah, that's true. His remaining schedule though, holy shit. Swamp Gym, Viggo Mortenstein, Hell or High Waller, fuck Yahoo.
Oh,
yeah.
That's 1, 2, 4, and 9.
And that's the same schedule as somebody else. I can't remember, but
that was me.
That was you. Yeah. Y'all got the exact same schedule.
Jeez and Pete. Yeah, that's that actually makes sense, actually, because
right. No, it all makes sense, but like you got one of the hottest teams in the league, and then Swamp Gym, Viggo, and Hell or High
Water. 3
of
the top 4 in the league. Yep.
Like, Bob, good luck. Joe, good luck.
Yeah.
Meat Jerkin Beef Boys, or Luke has Meat Jerkin Beef Boys, Over the Hills, Falcons, Tank, Dax Ankle. Luke's going 4-0, baby. Luke's going 4-0. He's going 4-0. He's going to win the rest of his games.
4-0, going 7-7. Be right on that bubble.
Yeah, he's going 4-0, baby. I'm gonna shave my head. If he wins this league, I'm shaving my head. Go 4-0. 4-0, Luke.
Yeah, if he pulls it off, man, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I'm glad I didn't promise something like that, because like I'd be scared at this point that it would be coming. I'd have to be shaved.
Well, that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, it does, of course. But you know what? Hey, as long as you're on board with that, that's good. Actually, the one thing I was gonna say with Luke was I was actually going to say, how did you know to start Ronald Jones? Like, how did you figure that one out? And then I looked at his team, and I was like, oh, he had no choice. But
I mean, he could have started Nigel Hines.
Yeah, I mean, he could have done that. But, I mean, at the same time, I mean, do you start Nigel Hines over Ronald Jones, or do you start him over Singletary?
True. Yeah. You're right. I don't really think he put much thought process. You know what he probably did? He just put a name in the hat or drew a name from the hat. Guaranteed that's how he picks his lineup every single week.
That's a very good point. We could definitely make an argument for that.
He's got a kicker on IR. His kicker's on IR.
It's one person that's not Greg the Leg, and then he goes on IR. Like, how does this work?
I don't understand. All right, we got to get through this. What's your advice for Luke and Bob?
Luke, I got Marvin Jones over Chark. I think from here on out.
I don't like that.
As long as Gardner Minshew is not starting QB at Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, true. They got like what, Jake gluten free.
Yeah. I mean, he could be good. He's been producing. I don't know if he's going to be consistent. You know, I don't think that's going to make Chark consistent. producer. And I think my thing is Jones has been looking good. He's always been a contributor with the Lions. Got the same QB. Yada
True.
yada yada.
True.
But and then I think I think you do a 3 running back play. I think you go Jones, Elliott, and Hines from here on out.
Agreed.
So and then Luke's daddy. I think he's got to make some moves for depth. I mean, I look at his bench and I really don't like I don't really like what I see. I mean, I think it would be a drag to put one of those guys into his starting lineup. I mean, granted, his starting lineup's great, but I don't know if like somebody has a bye week or something like that. I don't like any of the guys that he has on his bench. So I don't know if he has made some moves or whatnot, but I think he's got to make some moves for depth.
I agree. My advice for Bobby is good news is you can win without Dalvin Cook putting up 40 points. And I actually funny you said talk about his depth because I literally said he doesn't have enough depth in his roster to make a playoff run. He needs more pieces. I literally put that.
Yep.
So yeah, you just got to find something. And my advice for Luke is just win, baby, win. Just win. Just win. I don't care how you do it. Just fucking win. But yeah. So do you have anything else?
I think that's about it.
Okay. Luke's daddy beats Legion of Buttsex 91.82 to 68.68. Week 11 preview. I went 2-4 last week. I don't know what you did. I didn't have a good week.
Where did I go last week? Here we go. I totally forgot about that until you just said something. So I got to win. Did you win? Yeah, you won.
Yeah.
Meat Jerk and Beef Boys won. Nope, they lost.
We got a pretty good matchup slate coming up.
Yep, Swamp Jim won. Over the Hill won. Ooh, I did pretty good.
What'd you do?
I did 5-1.
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude.
Wow, dude. All right, you got the hot ticket.
Hot ticket. Let's go, baby.
All right.
I called myself because I knew I had to get a win. I called you on that one. Too many buys. Meat Jerk and Beef Boys. Ben was out. Chubb was questionable for fuck Yahoo, but he ended up that's one I lost, and I went with Swamp Jim because I thought his luck was going to come back. Over the Hill, I thought it was going to be close, but I only gave the edge to Over Hill because he's been playing pretty well. And then the match of the week, I gave it to Luke Staddy.
Nice.
So,
okay. So for this one, the first one we got was Vigil Morgenstein versus Hell or High Waller.
Ooh, this one's going to be a good matchup. It's projected as a 116-114 in favor of Vigil Morgenstein. And it looks like Ridley will be back, and Mixon is questionable at this point. I don't think he's going to do as much in this game, and I think Kareem Hunt might be a little bit out of the picture. He's going with famous Jameis though. Going with famous Jameis against Atlanta's defense. That's actually a good play.
Love it.
Good listening. Good listening skills. And so, yeah, I would have to go with you though.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm just not very confident in my team right now. That's why I'm going with Hell or High Waller. And I firmly believe Darius Slayton is his kryptonite, and he's on a bye. So I'm gonna go with Hell or High Waller.
Gotcha.
Meat Jerk and Beef Boys versus Legion of Buttsex. The only thing I had here was I'm rooting for you, Luke, but I'm picking Meat Jerkin.
Well, you want to be a respected journalist, so you gotta go with what you think's gonna win.
Maybe a journalist. I don't know how respected.
Let's see if he can. Well, if he can get Greg the Leg, if he gets his matchup back together again, gets Elliott back on the starting lineup, He gets Kelsey. Give me some Legion of Buttsex on an upset here this week.
Oh, I love it. All right, so next one is potential matchup of the week: Swamp Jim versus Luke's Daddy. I am super stoked for this one.
Yeah, this
I
one's a
think
good
it's
one.
going to be a high score. I'm going with Luke's Daddy. I think Luke's Daddy upsets him.
Yep. Let me see. Luke's daddy going for the upset on Swamp Jim. Yeah, Camaro's is questionable. Carson is questionable, but is coming back. Got a high pointing game. Actually, a pretty high scoring game this week. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna have. I would have to go with Luke's daddy too, as well.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but Kenyon Drake's gonna be back. Hawkins there, Hawkinson.
I think
Yeah,
it's that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, give me Luke's daddy.
Cool. Dax ankle versus Falcons Tank 21. This is for me. This was a who wants it more. Both teams have holes. Both teams are on they're average. Both teams.
There's Deontay
Falcons.
Johnson in the starting lineup.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm picking Falcons Tank. I'm picking Falcons Tank.
Yeah, too many buys. Too many buys for Dak's ankle.
Yeah, I know.
Gonna have to go with Falcons tank.
Cool. Fuck Yahoo versus my hilarious name. This is a must win for both. It is very evenly projected. It's probably this is definitely a matchup of the week potential.
Yeah, this one's got some. It's got some stuff on it.
I'm gonna go with Fuck Yahoo on this one, just because he's hot. Don't take offense to this because my records. My records for the past couple of weeks have been atrocious. So
yeah, so no, that actually plays in favor to me. So, anyways,
it actually spin zone plays in favor to you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But I'm gonna go with myself on this one. I think I need a big win. I think
good.
I think we're gonna. I'm going with Mike Evans and Michael Thomas in this one. I think Connor has a little bit of a bounce back against Jacksonville, gets himself actually back on that touchdown train, and then starting with CeeDee Lamb. But yeah, it's gonna be. Aaron Jones has a pretty tough matchup against Indy's defense. Nick Chubb, he'll probably go off against Philly. Take coming. And then Ben Roethlisberger is probably going to go off with Jacksonville. So, yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think I need to win more.
Yep. I mean, you both need – this is a must-win for both of you.
Yeah.
So, I'm Ron Dynasty's team versus Over the Hill. Another possible matchup of the week. I think Over the Hill is gonna win this one.
Yeah, that's going to be the safe bet. I mean, he's riding off of a good team right now, but let me see.
Here's the thing: they're both 5-5, so the winner of this will be sitting pretty. The loser is not completely out of it.
Not completely out, but he's going to have to start.
You'd rather scrambling. Especially right now, you'd much rather be 6-5 than 5-6.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with Over the Hill on this one. What do you got?
I'm going to go opposite on you on this one. I'm going to go Ron's Dynasty's team. I think we've got
big Murray guy.
Yeah, Murray's going to go off on Seattle. I mean, their defense just isn't there.
It's atrocious.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire has a pretty good matchup with Las Vegas Raiders. I think he comes back into that mix as the running back. Bell hasn't really done anything. And then Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be had a good matchup with Jacksonville. Yeah, I give me especially he should put Juno Smith back onto the starting lineup. I don't know why he's still on the bench. Janu, whatever.
Yeah,
still needs to be on the starting lineup. I think he listens to this podcast and he follows my instructions, and then he goes with it, and then he wins. So,
all right, is that it?
I think that's it.
All right, boys, have a good week. Got a great game tonight. Should be fun. Cardinals, Seahawks?
Cardinals Seahawks. That's actually a great Thursday night game. Normally that's shit.
Yeah. So set the lineup. Great week. Love you guys.
Later.